looking forward to this one, that is for sure. Always great to watch two players clash in the finals on the Open Series.
Yep.
And Tautic, #1 overall seed. He'll start it off with a Sandstep Citadel. Anderson will draw a card. He'll sacrifice his Flooded Strand. Favorite Hoplite is really as good as it can start. Urborg the draw for Tautic.
And this is the type of matchup where Todd's going to be in the market to draw a lot of creatures as well to insulate himself from Fleshbag Marauder, Merciless Executioner.
There's an Elvish Mystic, another Sandstep Citadel, and we'll head back Todd's way in just a moment. Again, 3 Merciless Executioner, 2 Fleshbag Marauders. Those are certainly going to play a big role here. Collected Company can certainly find those cards. Reality Ancestors can bring them back. So can Liliana Heretic Healer, 4 copies of that card in Tautic's deck. Remember, Anderson's deck doesn't have removal, really. It's got Dromoka's Command. That's about it. He's going to be pretty aggressive with it to get Elvish Mystic off the battlefield. And come across here for 3 points of damage.
I don't mind Todd trying to pin Ray on mana here. The deck's only got 20 lands, Ray's deck. He needs to get to 5. So that is a vulnerability in the matchup. On top of that, you might be able to keep Ray off of plays like Fleshbag Marauder or Collected Company if you go after his mana.
There's this Hater Wayfinder. Well, he found some lands on this time. And it looks like he wants to take Sandstep Citadel, though. Giving it some thought. Mana Confluence, Llanowar Waste, those are also options right now. We'll take Sandstep Citadel. That'll end the battlefield tapped, and we'll head back Anderson's way. Anderson will draw a card. Basic island in hand as far as lands are concerned. Favorite Hoplite going to come in. Well, 3 damage is going to come through.
Yeah, a little early for Ray to be chump blocking, and he does want to have straight creatures floating around the table for Liliana and a couple other effects.
Seeker of the Way, Temple of Enlightenment. Top card to the bottom.
Now, the turn before he's going to rally, then he probably wants to be chump blocking.
It'll be a pretty quick block, yeah. There's Urborg. Collected Company in here for Ray. Curious if he wants to play it on his main phase or wait until Todd's turn.
You know, Ray has a Liliana in hand, and if Todd rather doesn't have a way to punch through the Satyr Wayfinder without getting involved in combat, if he doesn't have God's Bling style effects, that Liliana might freeze up Todd's entire attack. But the upshot with Collected Company is that you're more mana efficient that way, and the ceiling is much higher. And I think that's what Ray's going to go for.
Anderson will draw. Defiant Strike into target favorite Hoplite. Heroic Trigger on the stack, as is Defiant Strike. Also Prowess Trigger on the stack, so see if Ray wants to respond.
He could collect a company right here. If he hits 2 of his Executioner, Flashbag Marauder type effects, that could be just the game. Looks like Ray's going to show a little more patience, though.
Seeker of the Way, the draw there. There's an island. Here are the attackers. And now we'll see Collected Company. And can't really do a lot about it, so just gotta cross your fingers if you're Anderson. Deathness, Raptor, Grim Horror Specs. Among the options here.
Grim Horseback's Fleshbag Marauder is not a bad pair of things to hit right here.
Yeah. Deathness Raptor is
Yeah, also,
sort of appealing.
there's like 3 really good. Any mixture of those 2 creatures is really, really good right here.
Now, don't forget that because favorite hot plate's already been targeted, damage dealt to it is reduced to 0.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to happen. So, that might be part of the reason Deathmiss Raptor has not been selected. Now, Flashback Marauder's going to come in. Both players have to sacrifice a creature. Tautic going to sacrifice. Satyr Wayfinder gets a draw card because of the Horror Specs. Now he blocks. He gets a draw card again. This is, average turn. Take 0. Thanks. Another Seeker of the Way. Pass.
Okay.
I've seen worse turns.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. It's got Rally in hand, too.
Yep.
And there's only so much of that Todd can handle. Remember, people were going to Foul Tongue Invocation for a while, in part because of this deck. A Foul Tongue Invocation that synergizes with cards like Grim Horror Specs and that you can be recurring. And that you can't counter with cards like Stubborn Denial.
There's an Elvish Mystic. There's another Fleshback Marauder. Trigger. Sacrifice Fleshback Marauder.
Todd's just getting worn out here, and
Yep.
there's still Rally left over in Ray's hand.
Ray gets to draw a card because of Grim Horror Specs. He'll play Sandsep Citadel.
I mean, honestly, Ray might be in a position to win this game without casting Rally. He might just kill too much of Todd's stuff.
There's a Defiant Strike. Anderson going to untap. And he'll draw. Jamoka's Command in hand. Valorous Stance, looks like.
The problem is that Todd kind of needs to kill Ray's board to start attacking. But if he does that, then Rally beats him for sure.
Yep. Here's Jamoka's Command. Fight there. Yeah, in all these exchanges, Todd has to hope. All right, I hope you don't have Collector Company. I hope you don't have Rally. And I hope you don't have another Edict effect. And it's so unlikely with how many cards that Tautic is drawing that he has none of those things.
Now, I think Ray still may want to wait a little bit on this Rally because he doesn't have to move right now, and I don't think he has an Nantuko Husk in the graveyard, meaning if he does return everything's going to get exiled and he has to start over. Maybe he gets so much value out of this that it doesn't matter, but if there's no Nantuko Husk down there, Ray might prefer to, say, cast Nantuko Husk and something else this turn to ensure that the Rally, he can go on indefinitely doing that.
Well, Tautic's going to take a little while to figure this one out. He's in a great spot right now, but he's got a lot of options because he has so many cards in his hand.
Yeah, the real question is, do you do enough rallying right now with Todd only having one creature in play to end the game, or are you better off playing it a little bit safe, getting a Nantuko Husk into play, and making it so that the rally is just a lock to win the game?
Den Protector being played face up along with Nantuko Husk, and that face of Den Protector to me is just a chump blocker.
Yeah. I think Ray's plan from here is pretty straightforward, assuming Todd lets him do it, which is, Todd will attack, chump block with Den Protector, untap, rally, make Todd sacrifice any creatures that he has in play. He has Horror Specs plus Husk, draws a bunch of cards.
Probably just kill you that way.
Yeah. And Ray's life total right now is high enough that he can afford, making sure that the rally definitely ends the game.
Yeah.
If he rallied this turn, he's a huge favorite to win the game regardless. But then he's at the mercy of the top of Todd's deck to some extent, and Todd has 2 copies of Treasure Cruise. So why not play it safe and make sure that when you do it, it's going to be game over.
And this is God's willing. Looks like that card's going to stay on top. Coming in. Husk will have to block. Todd gave pro green so that Husk couldn't do a, hasty kill.
Yep, but that doesn't matter. It's Todd. All Ray cares about is having a Husk in play or in the graveyard, because he brings that back, sacrifice everything, etc., and so forth.
Just don't have it in your hand.
Yeah.
I do like that he's trimmed down on that card a little bit, only 2 copies. It's important, but it's not integral.
Yeah, it's nice to have for the matchups where your opponent can't block and your Mogus Marauder is a kill. But if we watch Ray throughout this tournament, I have seen very rarely where he's just gone, rally, pump my Husk. I don't even know if I've seen that once.
Yep.
He's just been wearing people down slowly but surely, and then the rally blocks up the game.
There's an attack with Den Protector. Here's a rally. This is going to be ugly. A lot of triggers going to go on the stack.
Yeah, Ray's going to get a new hand. Todd's going to have his lone creature killed.
So 2 Fleshback Marauders and a Satyr Wayfinder. Satyr Wayfinder is going to die, so Tautic gets to draw a card. Now another Fleshback Marauder trigger. He'll just sacrifice a Fleshback Marauder. He gets to draw a card from Horror Specs. Next up is that Satyr Wayfinder trigger, so long as he remembers it. But with so much going on, I think he missed it. Yeah, it looks like maybe it got pointed out.
Yeah, not clear if we're in a spot here where we've hit a second wave of triggers that have resolved, or we're still inside of comes into play, triggers plus Horror Specs, preempting those triggers resolving. Depends on how the players communicate and all that stuff. Not a huge deal regardless, since Todd is out of stuff.
He's in some real trouble, that's for sure. So we'll see what the ruling is here in just a moment as these players do discuss things. But you can see that Tautic is pretty far ahead in this situation. And once the ruling is made final on exactly where they're at in the turn, we'll of course let you know. But that's what we have the head judge for, Nick Saban, to decide exactly what the ruling will be.
Exactly.
He'll let us know.
Regardless, Todd is up against it right now. Out of creatures, down to, I believe, Valorous Stance and some other card, a little note in hand. Ray's about to draw up a new hand. Still has the Den Protector attacking. And if he finds another rally, that answers whatever Todd's follow-up is, assuming Todd even finds a creature in the allotted time frame.
Yeah, I think it is fairly likely he will find another rally, by the way, given how many cards he's going to draw with Grim Horror Specs over the next turn and a half. So, again, the build of this deck, it appears has a very good matchup against Heroic. And from what we've seen so far, because Ray has made it through 2 different Abzan decks, it looks like he's got a really good matchup against any Siege Rhino deck.
I'm still not sold on the balance that his matchup is positive here. I still feel like Todd's got an edge because Ray is leaning so much on these Marauders. But there's no doubt, once he's finding it off of Collected Company and rallies, Todd, you go up and down the deck list here, attack 10, 11, 13, 17 total creatures. He can only survive getting edicted so many times.
Yeah.
And, it was looking like he was hanging on through the first edict that happened through Collected Company. But now the second one is burying him because his other creatures, they're going to get killed inside of combat. It's hard for him to avoid trading with cards like Death Mist Raptor and so forth that, that rally getting back the edict is just going to be too much.
Yeah, it just feels like it's too much to overcome. I mean, he's got a 6 Fleshback Marauder effect in the sideboard. 2 Dromoka's commands, a Murderous Cut, 2 Heroes Downfall. It's just maybe Todd's able to steal game 1, but I don't know how he's able to overcome things after sideboard. It just seems like there's too much.
Well, it's still, he's still got the same hope, which is Ray stumbles a little bit. He doesn't have cards like Collected Company or his Edict effects, and then he's playing a deck with blockers and only a couple removal spells, and we know that Heroic can be good there. So there is certainly hope on Todd's side of the table. When the game looks like this, there's no coming back for him.
Yeah. I mean, he's lost basically all of his creatures. He's got a Valor Stance in hand, and that's about it. I mean, Valor Stance does give you kind of a reset button against killing, large Antuco Husk. It'll give you that aspect of things to kind of save yourself, but outside of that, this game looks like it's going to be raised as we move forward here.
For sure.
Unless there's some sort of ruling that happens where the game is going to end, the game loss is rewarded. But I would be surprised if that's the case. Of course, again, as I mentioned, when Nick Saban does make his final ruling, the head judge of the tournament, we will let you know what that is. But, we'll get to the sideboards and all that good stuff in a bit here. But, you know, for this particular Abzan rally deck, it might be the best way to go for this particular strategy. And I think, as we saw last week in Chicago with Matthew Tickle and how he kind of put this on the map, and now Tautic is in the finals here with this strategy, I think we're going to just see the evolution of this deck as we go through the Open Series.
Yeah, what to me separates the two decks is it felt like Matthew was trying to execute some very specific things. And to that end, you saw Court of Calling. To me, when Court of Calling is a deck like that, it's saying, I'm trying to get A plus B plus C together and win the game. And
Sure.
the Court allows me to tutor for whatever I'm missing. And most of his kills that we had on camera were via Rally the Ancestors, a bunch of Nantuko Husk, a bunch of Mogus's Marauders, and try to win the game that way. When you see Ray's deck here, you see 4 copies of Liliana and 4 copies of Collected Company. That, to me, says, I'm playing a value game. I'm just trying to wear you down. Eventually, I'll get to Rally. And if the game goes on for long enough, it's going to be enough to kill you. My draws that are very fast about getting stuff from the graveyard, that's going to be good enough to combo kill sometimes. But he's just been grinding his opponents down game after game with Rally as just the way to finally push someone out of the game. Because when he rallies, he's getting back way too much stuff, drawing too many cards, killing too many opposing creatures. And I think that Matthew is probably trying to execute too specific of a game plan. And here it's just a much more broad strokes approach to the game. He's not trying to do any one particular thing. He's not trying to do anything at a particular speed. He's just playing his curve of stuff, trading a bunch, playing a graveyard value game. And if Rally happens to show up with a stock graveyard, that's going to win the game.
And it does feel a lot like, you know, the parallel that we drew a little bit earlier in the day, like the birthing pods decks that we've seen in Legacy, in Modern, and more so the Collected Company Abzan decks that we've seen so much, where, you know, it is a lot of value, and you know, it's a lot of value, but then, you know, I have the ability to just kind of kill you with the proper Collected Company into the right things, and all of a sudden, boom, you're dead. You know, stuff like that can happen. And it feels like that's what can happen here, where, you know, with Rally, you don't need it to win the game, but you're still going to play 4 copies, and it's still going to be really, really good. And, you know, this, honestly, we're putting so much attention on Rally Ancestors, this might be the best Collected Company deck in Standard now.
It's been really impressive. And what's so good about this deck is that the mid-combat Collected Companies find things like Liliana and Deathmist Raptor and Fleshback Marauder, things that can blow up combat. So it's nice to have instants in your deck, but especially ones that can influence combat, those are even better.
Well, we are back in the match here. Satyr Wayfinder appears to have been resolved. And so missing that trigger with the Satyr Wayfinder is a game rules violation. It ends up being a warning from our head judge, Nick Saban, and now play does resume. So Tautic is adding more cards to his hand, of course, because Grim Horror Specs and Nantuko Husk are working together, as they should. Anderson just has a Monastery Mentor on the battlefield. Tautic will draw another card. And now Horsepex will be exiled because of the rally triggers. So now Tautic will draw for the turn. Deathmist Raptor.
And I think that Ray has not found another copy of Rally, but that doesn't even matter.
Yep.
You can simply play, let's, for example, Liliana and Deathmist Raptor and say, all right, Todd, go ahead and try to attack.
Looks like Tautic will begin with Liliana.
Honestly, your Mentor may end up being a critical card for Todd in the matchup here, as it's a way for him to overpower Edict effects.
I could see that one showing up and being pretty important. Yep, no more.
The Husk allows him to sacrifice the Den Protector, allows him to get to flip Liliana, allows him to manus Liliana and get back Fleshback Marauder, and Todd's had enough.
Ray Tautic going to win game number 1 here over Todd Anderson. Abzan Rally up a game over Banteroic as we do get ready here for game number 2. So we'll take a look at the sideboards. We already dived in a little bit to that, but we'll start with Anderson since he'll be on the play. He's got Laguna Band Trailblazer, a Stratus Dancer, 2 Aqueous Form, 3 Encased Ice, 2 Ordeal of Heliod, 2 Disdainful Stroke, a Triton Tactics, 2 Treasure Cruise, and an Island.
I like bringing in the Treasure Cruises here, the Trailblazer, the Stratus Dancer, and the 2 copies of Aqueous Form. I think he needs another creature to protect himself from the Edict effects that Ray's bringing to the table. The 2 copies of Treasure Cruise, the game's going to go on for a long time. Ray's got a fair amount of removal. The Stratus Dancer can counter removal spells and Rally the Ancestors. And Ray is trying to block, so Aqueous Form seems good to me here as well.
3 Ocean Clerics, a Fleshback Marauder, Reclamation Sage, 2 Dromoka Command, 2 Heroes Downfall, Murderous Cut 3 on Offensive the Foremost, and 2 Drowning Sorrows here for Tautic.
Like the Fleshbag Marauder, as much of that as possible. 2 copies of Heroes Downfall and a Murderous Cut seem easy to bring in. And I think the Reclamation Stage is a fine card to bring in here, as Ray knows he's going to be playing against Aqueous Form in the post-board games, and that's a good answer.
Well, these players are going to get shuffled up here for game number 2 between Ban Heroic and Abzan Rally. But Grand Prix London is right around the corner, where you will be able to find Todd Anderson and the rest of the Versus Series crew there. And you can find out more information about that tournament only a couple weeks away right now.
On August 14th through 16th, StarCityGames.com proudly presents Grand Prix London, and this event is going to be huge. It all starts with the perks. Players who opt for Bronze Tier registration will receive a voucher good for 1 free month of StarCityGames.com Premium, a Grand Prix Foil Promo Gristle brand, a set of 5 tokens featuring the stars of StarCityGames.com's popular Versus series, plus an exclusive playmat featuring Magic Origins' hottest planeswalker, Chandra. At the Silver tier, you'll receive everything included at the Bronze level, an 80-count pack of card sleeves featuring the same Chandra artwork, your SCG Premium upgraded from 1 month to 3, and a voucher good for a free 8-player on-demand constructed event or Magic Origins booster draft. What's better than silver? Gold, of course. Our Gold tier gives you everything included in the Silver package, plus a second 80-count pack of Chandra card sleeves, an exclusive collectible pin, your SCG Premium upgraded from 3 months to 6, and a second set of Versus Series tokens, this time in foil. The Gold tier also includes a sleep-in special, so as long as you have 1 or more buys, you can skip Saturday morning's player meeting and pick up your registration rewards anytime during the weekend. But nothing shines brighter than Platinum, and those who opt for our Platinum tier will receive everything included in the Gold tier, along with a second 8-player side event voucher, third 80-count pack of Chandra sleeves, an upgraded voucher good for an entire year of SCG Premium, along with an additional set of both foil and non-foil Versus Series tokens. The Platinum tier also comes with a VIP badge and lanyard, an SCG water bottle, and access to Grand Prix London's exclusive VIP lounge, featuring water stations, phone and electronics charging stations, a dedicated concierge, and private pairings boards. Still want a weekend full of Magic but not looking to play in the main event? With a 1-day or 3-day Infinite Challenge badge, you can play in as many challenge events as you want for one low price. Our 1-day Infinite Challenge badge comes with a free 8-player side event voucher, while the 3-day Infinite Challenge badge comes with 2 free 8-player side event vouchers, plus the exclusive Grand Prix London playmat. Want to get your hands on some more packs of those awesome Chandra sleeves? At Grand Prix London, you'll have plenty of chances to do so. On Friday at 11 a.m., 1 p.m., and 3 p.m., Grand Prix London will offer 3 Magic Origins Sealed Spectacular events. And if you like value, these events are for you. For just £15, every player who participates in a Sealed Spectacular will receive an 80-count pack of Chandra sleeves, a set of non-foil Versus Series tokens, 6 Magic Origins boosters from which to build your deck, plus a shot at winning tons of additional prizes. Additional packs of Chandra sleeves will be awarded to each of Friday's Grand Prix trial winners and every player who enters the Super Sunday Series. No Grand Prix is complete without special guests, and we have plenty joining us at Grand Prix London. On Friday, from 2 to 3:30, join all 5 stars of StarCityGames.com's Versus Series for a free standard format seminar. Todd Anderson, Brian Bronduin, Brad Nelson, Tom Ross, and Chris Van Meter will all be traveling across the pond to share their thoughts on the standard format. If you plan on playing in the main event, you won't want to miss this. Later on Friday, from 5 to 9 p.m., fans will have a chance to interact with the Versus Series stars for a special meet and greet. And if you pre-registered as Gold or Platinum, you can commemorate your Grand Prix London experience by getting your Versus Series tokens autographed. Also on Friday night from 6:30 to 7:30, the UK's own Rich Hagon will be hosting his popular Magic Trivia game show. It's free, it's fun, with some cool prizes up for grabs. For fans of Magic artwork, Grand Prix London's Artist Alley features Philip Berberin, Miles Johnston, Chris Rawlis, Carl Kopinski, RK Post, and Svetlin Velinov. Grand Prix London will also feature not 1, but 2 guests of honor, John Avon and Alexi Bricklot. The legendary John Avon has been one of Magic's most beloved artists for almost 20 years, while Alexi Bricklot has illustrated many of the game's most iconic planeswalkers, including the incredible Chandra piece featured on the Grand Prix London playmat. On August 14th through 16th, Grand Prix London will be a 3-day celebration of all things Magic, and you're invited to the party. Join the discussion on social media using the hashtag GPLondon and pre-register today at StarCityGames.com/GPLondon.
Grand Prix London right around the corner. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to see game 2 of this match here too between Todd and Ray. This is a, how do you say, uphill climb?
I still think Todd's got some game. But you know what we saw there is Ray's best draws. Todd does not have a lot of recourse. He's at the mercy of the defense.
You are optimistic.
I mean, that game didn't look good. Not saying that went well.
I think this is, all these edict effects is too much for Todd to overcome. 6 of them after sideboard. So hard. Anderson going to search up Plains with this Windswept Heath.
I mean, Todd taking a mulligan definitely not helping matters here.
No, that's horrible if that's a thing that happens. He's got to have 7 cards. Or Ray has to just not function. Well, turn 2. Island. Hero of Eros. Kick it back.
Looks like Ray has brought in Dramoka's Command, which I can see bringing in. He is definitely the slower deck of the 2 in the matchup, and it can be a little unwieldy.
Satyr Wayfinder, Plains, Windswept Heath, Dramoka's Command, and Mogis' Marauder. Tautic will go with the Plains. Anderson will draw. Picked up a copy of Windswept Heath. He'll sacrifice that to search up a basic Plains. Down 18.
A little bit of the awkwardness of the mana base on display here. Todd still needs double white to function with Dramoka's Command in hand, giving up on green for the time being.
There's Defiant Strike.
Though it looks like Todd naturally has the forest in hand.
Yep. Time to draw. It's got to be a gooder. There's an attack for 3. A creature actually qualifies.
Creature's great. It means he can fight through the Fleshbag Marauders that could be coming.
Tautic will draw. And Tuco Husk, I believe, the draw.
Well, the window is now open for Ray to just cast a removal spell.
Mm-hmm.
And the timing on these cards can be pretty sensitive. Todd's got to man it up. Can be hard to do, but window for Hero's Downfall. I don't even necessarily mind Dramoka's Command and trading with the Seeker.
I was thinking the same, actually. It looks so bad on the surface, Dramoka's Command trading with the Seeker, but you just want to make it so that Anderson always has 1 creature in place so that your Fleshback Marauders and your Merciless Executioners are always live.
Looks like that's the decision Ray is contemplating right now.
There's 3 mana. I'm going to go with Liliana. Pass the turn back.
Great opening here for Dramoka's Command on Todd's side of the table.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of Liliana.
Hero of Eros is going to fight Liliana. Seeker of the Way is going to get a counter, also trigger Prowess. This is a pretty healthy attack. Jump blocking is probably going to take place this turn. Maybe next turn.
And Todd has brought in his Disdainful Strokes as well.
Has to. Has to.
Rally and Collected Company.
Yep. Doesn't counter a ton of stuff, but it counters the relevant stuff.
Yeah. Except for just the Fleshbag Marauders being cast au natural, but
Yeah.
there's nothing Todd can do about that.
Looks like Ray might just take it all. Yep. He'll untap and draw. Collected Company. There's a Fleshbag Marauder effect. Anderson will draw. Hero of our Rose is coming in.
Big draw here for Todd. Battle-wise Hoplite. Why is that a big draw?
Another creature.
Just another dummy to be thrown away.
Yeah. Yeah, Fleshbag Marauder's going to jump block. Battle-wise Hoplite. Island's actually pretty big in this instance, too, because it lets him keep up Disdainful Stroke. There's a land. Tautic with a 4 mana play is going to try to take 1 to play Collected Company. It's going to get hit with Disdainful Stroke, and we're going to play a 3rd game here. So Todd Anderson able to win game number 2 against Raymond Tautic. Ban Heroic, Abzan Rally going to go to game 3, and Ray T will be on the play.
Todd was able to be an edict that game.
Yep.
It required every single card that he had, though he did take a mulligan. But you saw a winning recipe. Ray there, a little slow out of the gates, some clunky cards in his hand, not able to deploy his resources efficiently, and never get anything big to resolve.
Just enough.
Just enough.
Yep. But just enough is good enough to force a 3rd game here between Tautic and Anderson. So Tautic will be on the play here, as he was for game number 1, and we'll see if Anderson can steal it on the draw. Or if Ray, who has destroyed this tournament the whole way through, can take the trophy home with him. In the meantime, while these players shuffle up, we'll take a look at the Season 3 schedule here in the Open Series. Of course, we did start in Charlotte with Michael Malone and his Grand Prix winning Elves deck, so congratulations yet again to him for a very impressive performance. Standard Open in Indianapolis was won by Eric Rill. Our Baltimore Open was won by the Boz, Andrew Boswell. And then Chicago last weekend was won by Ton Win. This weekend's going to go to Todd Anderson or Raymond Tautic. And, well, DC, that should be interesting since it's going to be Legacy.
Yeah, it's our first opportunity to play with Magic Origins in Legacy, but the week before that, regionals, StarCityGames.com/regionals, more information. Standard Grand Prix in London. Then we head back to Charlotte for a Modern Open Series event, and then the Season 3 Invitational in New Jersey. Standard and Legacy as the invitational formats with a 2-day, $20,000 Standard Open Series event, August 28th through the 30th.
Of course, for any of those main events that you do sign up for, the Tassiper playmat is available with Banana. Really, it's a Bananas playmat.
Bananas playmat.
Yeah, I know Tassiper is a central focus.
Scheming in the background,
but
it's a Bananas playmat.
It's mostly Bananas, the Slave Dog playmat.
Yeah.
Main events, free, easy to get. Sign up. You get one of these when you do.
Yep. And it's not limited to the first X people who register or not sent you after the fact, or you don't have to spend extra money. You get this for free. Any 2-day, $20,000 Open Series event during Season 3.
And both the players in our finals have one, but only one of them is walking away with $5,000, 25 Open Series points, and an invite to our Season 3 Invitational. Have to imagine Ray Tautic is the favorite here, but Anderson showing that his deck can fight back, especially after sideboard, where I expected Todd to be at a real disadvantage.
Well, Ray picking up the removal spells, that's good for him. I'm not saying don't bring in the hero's downfalls.
Of course.
But Todd's prepared to win that kind of game. The heroic deck thrives on beating decks that are just targeted removal. The edicts are a unique element of Ray's deck, and those are going to be hard for Todd to beat. Even in an opening, let's say this opening, turn 1 Elvish Mystic into turn 2 Liliana, into turn 3 Fleshbag Marauder, chomping one of Todd's creatures. Even that opening, that might be too much.
Yeah.
Flip Liliana, you now have the ability to get your Fleshbag Marauder out of your graveyard, and Todd may not be able to even beat that. But if it's just a curve of some creatures and a hero's downfall mixed in, that's something Todd can beat.
Well, both players are going to take a look at their openers. We'll be underway here for our final game from Richmond. Seeing a lot of cool decks, not a lot of green-red devotion.
No, especially given the presence that we saw in Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a total 180.
Proof that it can be beat. It's a good deck. Don't know if it's the best deck. And players have certainly brought some decks to try to beat it this weekend. That's why it's nowhere to be found in the top 8. Todd taking a long look. He's going to send it back. It was a one-lander. I think he looked at the top
I think
card.
Temple of Plenty.
Oh, if it was a windswept. If it was a temple, that's a snap keep. You kidding me?
Wonder what Tom Ross would do with that hand. In the background, you see, to the left of Ray Tautic,
Yeah, the boss.
a person who I've watched a lot on camera with Ban Heroic, literally never mulligan a hand, no matter what the 7 cards look like.
If it was a temple of plenty, I'm snapping that off.
Yep.
You kidding me?
Draws up Plains, Laguna Band, Trailblazer, God's Willing. That's fine. Good enough.
Draw a card every turn.
Draw a card every turn.
That's part of the rules
And
of the
you
game.
scry.
Yeah.
So, like, that's, another card, basically.
That's one of our implied 10-card keeps.
Right.
That's what that is.
Just free treasure cruises all around.
Yeah. And with the new mulligan rule?
Right.
Are you kidding? That's an 11-card hand.
Well, you can only take advantage of the new mulligan rule if you are willing to mulligan.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
It's a tough squeeze. tough squeeze.
Todd will take a look at 6 now. He's keeping. We're underway. There's the Temple of Plenty. Top card staying on top. Tautic will draw. Windswept Heath will put him down to 19. Forester Plains on the way. There's a Plains. There's Satyr Wayfinder. 4 cards, Rally and Elvish Mystic, of course, going to the graveyard. Santep Citadel or Plains going to the hand.
The real question right now, though, is Fleshback Marauder, Merciless Executioner.
Looks like Ray's going to take a Plains.
And if Ray starts chaining those together, not a lot for Todd to do.
Todd will draw. We'll see if this is land too. Yeah, it sort of is. It's a Temple of Enlightenment. It's very slow. Anderson going to leave that one on top. Play Laguna Band Trailblazer, pass the turn back over to Tautic.
Good against Fleshback Marauder in several ways. 1, you can sacrifice it. 2, 4 toughness against 3 power.
Yep.
A lot to like here.
It's hard to tell which one you like more between that and Fire Drink Crusader.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as on a personal level, as a competitive player, I'm not a fan of the Trailblazer because can't beat it.
Can't beat it, yeah. Just too big. Tautic will sacrifice the Windswept Heath. He's going down to 17 now. Perhaps a basic forest on the way. There it is. Let's see what's next up here for Ray. 3 mana gives him the ability to play a lot of spells. One of them is a Den Protector face down. Anderson will draw. Remember, he kept this card on top.
A lot of copies of Ordeal of Thassa in hand right now.
He'll start by sacrificing a Flooded Strand. And basic Plains, the weapon of choice.
And this is not bad for Todd, as he has the opportunity now to play Hero of Iroas and an Ordeal of Thassa. That allows him to have an efficient turn and means that he's not worried about a Fleshback Marauder just this moment.
Yep.
He is definitely vulnerable to Hero's downfall, however.
Oh, yeah. And not a lot he can do about it.
Yeah. Can't beat everything.
Two down to be dealt. 2 counters on the Laguna Band Trailblazer. 1 away from popping the Ordeal. 4 mana is a Collected Company time. Yep, gonna do it right now. Does Judgment in a Disdainful Stroke. Fleshback Marauder, Liliana, Reclamation Sage.
Well, Fleshback Marauder plus Liliana is the whole board.
So it is. So it is. It's actually pretty hard to pass up on.
I mean, that's the whole Collected Company. But with Den Protector down, I mean, this seems pretty sweet.
Yeah. There's Reclamation Sage in there, but it's not as good as these two.
Yeah, this is just awesome.
Yeah.
You flip over the Liliana, then you can get back the Fleshback Marauder. You get a token for your troubles. You have Den Protector to get back a Fleshback Marauder.
Yeah, Fleshback's going to sacrifice itself. This will flip Liliana. Liliana can bring a token along with it. Then Liliana can minus. to bring back Fleshbag Marauder. Fleshbag Marauder will make you sacrifice. There goes your Laguna Band Trailblazer. See you later, Satyr Wayfinder. In with the morph. Whatever, average turn.
Totally average. Also rally left over, so, you know.
Yikes.
If Todd rebuilds, then
Treasure Cruise. 3 cards coming. Back to Tautic we go, who's got a commanding lead now. Take a look at that graveyard. He's got some options here with that Den Protector. He'll start by playing a Sansep Citadel. There's Mogus' Marauder. Oh, we're going beatdowns. In for 9. Anderson's down to 7. One turn away is Ray T. Anderson will draw.
A creature enchantment.
Well, it is a heroic deck.
No, I just not the best time for that sort of thing.
No, probably not. There's a Windswept Heath. Favorite hoplite in the house. Standing its ground. Jamoka's Command. Gonna take care of Den Protector. Is there a big follow-up? Nope, just pass the turn back. Any Edict Effect will do. Tautic will draw. Does he have a way to get that creature off the table? He'll just be attacking. Anderson wanted to block Fleshbag Marauder.
Whoa.
Slow down a touch. Gonna slow down a touch. Doesn't really want that one in the graveyard so much. Now the question, of course, is what can he even play around? Let's take a look at the graveyard first.
Yeah, if Ray has a rally here, you know, if Todd blocks anything, Ray then rallies, brings back Liliana. We're back in the hole, back in the mix again.
He's got a block here. Just feels like he can't take that much damage. Tautic gonna play rally. I think Anderson, nope, I thought he might have Disdainful Stroke in hand. That's not the case. So a bunch of stuff is gonna come back. And this means that Liliana's gonna flip. Satyr Wayfinder will trigger.
And as we've seen before, this means that Liliana flips, and you can minus get back the Fleshbag Marauder, kill Todd's lone creature.
Yep. Damage will resolve.
And so on, and etc.
Zombie token on the way because Liliana flipped. Urborg added to hand from that Satyr Wayfinder trigger. Tautic gonna cash in Liliana. Bring back either Fleshbag Marauder or Merciless Executioner, either one. Satyr Wayfinder bites the dust. Away goes Anderson's favorite hoplite. Tautic will follow up with an Elvish Mystic, pass the turn back, and I think we're going to see Anderson take one more draw step here this weekend. He will draw, and we'll extend the hand. Ray Tautic is going to win this match here against Todd Anderson, 2-1. Obzon Rally been dominant from start to finish, and that's why Ray Tautic is your champion here at the Open Series in Richmond. Congratulations to him.
A dominant performance from Ray, bell to bell, 13-1-1 through the Swiss rounds. I believe lost 2 games throughout the elimination round, so faced some competition here, but first overall seed, and now you're champion.
And maybe the deck to beat in Standard for the Pro Tour next weekend.
I mean, this feels like such a huge step forward from what we saw in Chicago, which was already impressive enough. But Ray won matches every which way.